Hello, third grade class. I am Miss Nolan, and welcome to my literacy circle. Today, we're going to be reading Last Stop on Market Street by Matt de la Pina and illustrated by Christian Robinson. Now, this is a story about a grandmother and her grandson, CJ. And it takes us through their regular Sunday. They go to church, then they go onto the bus, and then they go to the soup kitchen. And as we go with them through their day, we get to learn a little bit more about CJ and Nana. And we get to see what they think of their lives. One of them might be happy with their life, the other not so much. And by the end of the book, I want you to be able to talk about how each of them feel about their life, whether they're happy with it or not, and talk about the difference between Nana and CJ. CJ pushed through the church doors, skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. So there's Nana and CJ. They're coming out of church. He seems very happy to be out of church, huh? He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but never saw a straw. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Kobe climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't got a car?" "Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire, and old Mr. Dennis who always has a trick for you." The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the door swung open. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear, placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon. She made sure CJ did the same. The bus lurched forward and stopped, lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knit. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ said. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." "I feel sorry for those boys," she told him. "They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the Sunglass Man, and I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." "That's a fact. Their noses, too," the man said, sniffing at the air. "That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am." Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Now, boys and girls, so far we've gotten to know CJ and Nana pretty well from what they've said to each other, right? And it seems like CJ has a lot to say about his life. He likes to say things like, "How come we always gotta go here after church?" Or, "Why can't we get a car?" It seems like CJ's complaining about his life. Do you think he might be a little bit displeased with it? Maybe he's not so happy with his life. And in response, Nana likes to say things like, I feel sorry for those boys. They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the Sunglass Man." She always has a reason as to why their life is actually pretty great. She likes to see the good in everything, right? So I want you to keep that in mind as we keep reading. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood back. "Sure wish I had one of those," he said. Nana set down her knitting. "What for? You got the real-life thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song?" CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. "To feel the magic of music," the blind man whispered, "I like to close my eyes." Nana closed hers, too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. Look how beautiful this picture is. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. Now, boys and girls, it says, and in the darkness the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus. What does the author mean by that? Did the music actually lift CJ out of the bus? How do you think the music is making CJ feel? Have you ever felt this way from music? The song ended and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it in the man's hat. "Last stop on Market Street," Mr. Dennis called. And there they go, off the bus. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. "How come it's always so dirty over here?" She smiled and pointed to the sky. "Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's beautiful." Now, what does this quote tell us about Nana? How does Nana view life, and how is that different from how CJ views life? CJ saw the perfect rainbow arcing over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. Look at a place that once seemed so dirty is now so beautiful when you notice those little details, right? Just like CJ did. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, "I'm glad we came. Look, there's Mr. Bobo and the sunglass man, and there's Trixie's new hat." He thought his Nana might laugh, her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, "Me too, CJ. Now come on." And there they are, they're serving soup to all their friends. The end. Now, girls and boys, at the end of the book, it seems that CJ is beginning to feel differently about life. So, what has CJ learned from Nana? And how has his view of life changed since the beginning of the book? I would say that we learn from Nana that any kind of life can be beautiful. You just have to be willing to look for it, to be willing to find happiness wherever you are. And when you're willing to search for good things in everything, you'll end up being more happy, just like Nana is. But I have some questions about that I want you to think about. Do you think CJ was wrong to complain about the things in his life? Is it okay to feel displeased with your life from time to time? Should you only ever be happy all the time? Or is it okay to feel a little bit sad or disappointed at some things? Are you better off looking for the good in life than you are complaining about what you don't have? And finally, are there times when you are like Nana? And are there times when you are like CJ? Which do you prefer? Which view of life do you like better, Nana's or CJ's? Well, I hope you really liked this book. I liked it a lot. I think that Nana is a great person to look up to, and I think CJ knows this and wants to be more like her, just as I think we all should be a little bit more like Nana. Well, until next time, keep reading, and I will see you then.